Hello, everyone. Hi. Hello. Can someone in the chat please type if you hear me all right, if everything is fine? Hi.
Hi, Kevin. Yes, it's okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes, just giving people enough time to join. It's 1 now, and we will start at 1:1. How's everyone doing? Hi, Irfan.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we start. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's a pleasure. Hi, Kate.
Hi, everybody. Great to see everyone. So excited for our AMA.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot to talk on the monologue section of the AMA today. Just providing some updates on the state of things on the Rock chip Lite Plus module. So today we had the second prototype sent for build to be built by the manufacturer. So we had a first revision. We had made some modifications to the first Lite Plus. This is the second revision. So hopefully this will debug all the outstanding issues on the Lite Plus. And that exactly comes to your question, Perry. The timeline is still end of Q2. So we're hoping that this will be the last time that the Lite Plus needs any revisions on our side. And we will have confirmation in about 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we will have this new revision in our hands that we can test everything with. And then if everything's good, then we will go on to make 1,000 of them. So 1,000 Lite Pluses will be manufactured. About 600 will be used to fulfill the orders of Indiegogo. And then we have an excess inventory of like 300, something around that we will start putting on the online shop for new participants. So that's really exciting. We'll have people other than Indiegogo who can also start joining the Fuller network. So that's the update on the hardware. On software, there's some things that Ehsan written for me that I want to go through. Give me a second. Okay, so there are 2 upcoming updates on the software side on the FxBlox app. So this week we'll have push an update to Play Store that will correct the storage space. So that is when you connect expansion cards and it shows you how much space you have available on your cards. So that UI and flow will be completed this week. And next week, we will start the final steps of integrating FxBlox apps and FxBlox app and FxPhotos apps. So this is really exciting. This is where the utility comes into play, where you can use your peer ID from your blocks and connect your FxPhotos app and start playing with storing your pictures on your FxBlox, which is the utility of the device. And then end of this month, end of May, we have the testnet soft launch. So that means testnets will be live by end of this month, and we will start pushing updates to the hardware, not to the app store, that makes your FxBlox mine the testnet tokens. And it will around the same time we also will initiate the mechanism for incentivized testnet. So the incentivized portion is whoever gets to the incentivized pool, they will have the tokens that they mine converted to mainnet tokens on a proportion that we will work out and share with you guys. So these are the updates on our side. Anything else I might have omitted? Irfan, Kate, you want to chime in?
Yes. Hi, Kayvon. Sure, I'll chime in. So you were talking about FX photos and FX files and utility. So that's obviously really exciting. So it enables Web3 mass adoption, everyone using it, right? FX photos instead of Google Photos. But I want to talk about utility within the apps, an exciting update on that. So although this is further along in our roadmap, we've met some really exciting teammates and members who are diving into IPFS or diving into our GitHub and our code, who really want to help us enable search and sharing. So I know, Kayvon, you're working with, so that team's working with Fission and the WNFS and Rust team around sharing of photos. So that'll be really exciting if one can do that in a decentralized, privacy first way. But on the searching side, so in FX Photos right now, while you can search for photos by file type and size, and we're starting to enable like chronological stories and things like that, being able to search for your photos with natural language would be really exciting, right? If you didn't have to give your photos away to Google or give away your privacy, but still be able to search. So we met someone recently here in Toronto. Sorry, let me just grab my plug-in here. Anyways, he wanted to find a picture of him and his wife visiting the tulips in the Netherlands. And he just showed me this photograph and he said, I love FX Photos. How would I find this photo in your app today? And so he has a whole exciting project and we're going to combine forces. So we're going to enable us to index our images with privacy first, decentralized infrastructure, and then be able to search for those photos. And then with the help of the blockchain team and Fission, be able to share those photos. So that really, really elevates the utility of the app. And we'll be essentially talking about the social sharing app that really stemmed from the first truly like mobile native decentralized app ever published to the Google or Apple Mac store. So really exciting updates. And if you guys have questions, want to dive in on that project or help with documentation, you know, we're all about that, and you can reach out to myself or anyone working on that. So I can turn it to Irfan, but if the community has questions too about partnerships and what we've been up to, consensus and things like that, maybe Irfan, you could share on what you were up to, consensus and some future plans on where you be going next.
Sure, but I feel like my internet is lagging a bit, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me all right.
We can hear all right, but the picture is a bit laggy, but okay, go on.
Okay, let me just turn off my video then. Yeah, so last week we went to Consensus in Austin, Texas. It was a very fruitful kind of trip and conference. We met a lot of potential partners and investors. So we initiated the original talks and we've been following up with them, and in order to figure out in which category we can, you know, kind of integrate partnerships with different players in the market. So that's been technically what I've been doing for the past few weeks. I was talking to potential partners and potential investors, and yeah, that's my side of the update.
Maybe I'll just round out consensus and then turn it back to Kayvon. So yeah, I think so I was there for a short amount of time, and then Irfan was able to spread his time out. And I think, yes, you were speaking lots so the investors and everyone, and just getting a sense of the market and the vibe, but also nurturing our relationships with the Protocol Labs and Filecoin. I know you were in that village a lot and talking to Stefan and everyone out there and Ruben. So that was great. And then in my case, I really wanted to try and engage some new partners that we haven't really spoken to yet, but now the timing is really right in light of nodes getting to people's houses, testnet being live. So it's some really great conversations with Space and Time DB. So they're doing really exciting things in terms of data warehousing and being able to do really rapid computation with the way they are storing data. So, you know, they're quite interested in the fact that Fula testnet is up there and are watching to see if maybe that's one of the networks we could look at. And also with near protocol. So, you know, we are able to play with lots of layer 2s or other chains, multi-chains, and Algorand is one of the first partners we've had and one of our really good partners, and kudos and others. But with Near, you know, we really had some great talks with them. The community is really present at Consensus, and there's lots of ways to help their developer tooling and things like that, and really enable some interesting dApps to be built from community members that we may not experience within these other ecosystems. So it's just really great to touch base with all of those ecosystems. And even the Polkadot village was really awesome. We got to meet some people from the Substrate team, and all the parachains were all there, and just seeing who's all playing nice. So yeah, if people have questions, Irfan and I are trying to travel a lot and get to lots of events. We're looking at Indianapolis. We're also going to have Functionland ambassadors at VCon in Indianapolis. If anyone's going to that, let us know. We'd love to know. And also like Toronto Futurist 23, let us know about that. Lots of exciting things on that front. So thanks, Kayvon. Turning it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting times are starting because what we're doing at Functionland together is something that haven't been done before. That is, we are bringing everyday utility that were previously offered solely by Web 2 to like normal users, right? What I mean by that is exactly like an app like FxPhotos. This is an everyday app that is not B2B, so it's not an enterprise play. This is something that we use for our personal memories. This is something day-to-day for normal users, not business users. So other storage projects in Web3 space are all centered toward B2B right now. So we are the first storage project that are going fully mobile native and targeting end user apps, because we hear a lot about Web3 and like on the investment on the enterprise side, but the reality is the retail, their only gateway to Web3 is things like trade. I say the gate trade. What's the correct term, Irfan? The DeFi play. Curve. Thank you.
Yeah, Curve.
Curve. So Curve finance, where you just so these are all what you get user experience wise as a bunch of DeFi plays, which are cool and very good to see. But what we don't see is all the real potential of Web3 being realized. That is, whatever you use on the cloud side and on the software as a service side, that can be brought over to Web3. And our community is really the pioneers of the first effort in this. And we had the revised timelines a bit. So we were hoping last year that by this time we will have our mainnet live, but really things really get started for Functionland when mainnet is live. And that currently is, we're thinking around end of Q3, maybe Q4 this year. But the reason that we're giving ourselves this space is to, together with community, iron out all the edges around the user experience so that when we go live, so currently you guys who are in this AMA session, the ones who's received their device, you already see there are some fixes needed on the app side, on integration side, on the user experience side in general. So, and due to the downturn, we had to scale down our team. So we are now developing at this scale that's a bit less than last year, but we are still developing and you're seeing constant updates. So the reason for moving the testnet launch to Q3, end of Q3, probably Q4 even, is want to iron out everything so that when we all all the blocks holders or the first wave from Indiegogo, we tell our friends, hey, there is an alternative to your iCloud or Google services. It really is an alternative. It is something that they can credit and move over and get the same experience. We received a couple more questions. Q has asked, what about some app updates? Q, I answered this like in detail, or like for the next 3 weeks, the updates earlier in the AMA, but generally the FxBlox app will be usable with testnet capabilities. And like, what I mean is like seeing the tokens you've mined, connecting new storage and everything. These will all be ready by middle of next month. So by mid next month, we have a fully functional, connected to the testnet FxBlox app. That's the summary of the, but I gave the breakdown already. Another question by Perry. How many slots do Light+ devices have, and how many SSD HDD can I externally plug in? So Perry, it's the same form factor. So 3 slots you get on the front. But what's really exciting on Light+ is you also get an internal slot. And there you can plug in NVMe SSD or like SATA 3 SSDs. So this is the exciting thing. And this is a good time for me to, Matty, are you on the call? So our hardware engineer is, I think, on the call. Hi,
Yeah.
Matty. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Matty, can you share a screen and show the cool stuff with the community?
Yes, of course. Let me. I think you must enable the.
Give me a second. Maybe there's a security thing. Zoom is so secure. I need to allow. Share screen, allow participants. Now you can, Matty. Go ahead.
Yeah. Could
Whoa.
you see
Yes.
my screen? Okay.
Yes. So guys, what
this-
you're seeing is Light+, the internal of Light+. So exactly this board that is inside the Light+, you're seeing the PCB. This is the second revision.
Yes. This is the new hardware with SoC RK35, and as you see, there is some new connector back of the board. There is 2 M2 connector, one for SSD and the second one for Wi-Fi module. And in this version, we have 2 USB 3 with DisplayPort output enabled. You can connect to display to these USB connectors.
So I just translate here, guys. This is a new thing that happens in Light+. So if you've checked out the framework marketplace, there is another expansion card called HDMI expansion card or DisplayPort expansion card, right? So those will start working with the Light+, meaning you can connect 2 external monitors to Light+ if you have the use case for it. Say you want to get a tower and use it as your everyday computer. Now you can get an HDMI expansion card and connect one of the two bottom USB slots as your display and connect the monitor to it and have a desktop, a Linux desktop. Sorry, Matt, continue.
Sorry. Another improvement is the memory. Now we can have memory up to 32 gigabytes.
That's really exciting as well, guys. So current RAM ceiling for Raspberry Pi config was 8 gigabytes. So this little computer that we have in our light, our normal lights, has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Whereas this new version for Fula, 8 gigabyte is completely enough. but we can have variants of the new design that are up to 32 gigabytes in RAM. And what that enables is using the same design of the full tower, we can have new applications. So there's one that we were really excited about and we're working towards it. And that's having this another tower that is an Ethereum staking tower. Because then we will need the 2 terabytes of NVMe storage, which this new M2 slot enables, and we need 32 gigabytes of RAM. So that's exciting. You can have a full tower with the 8 gigabyte variant, and then a 32 gigabyte tower, and you have both full miner and Ethereum staking machine on the same, say, XL setup. Sorry, Amati. I just translate things that you see. From nerd to less nerd.
Another,
Jen.
Yeah,
sorry.
practically. Yeah.
Another new feature we have Wi-Fi M2. Now we can have the Wi-Fi 6, a higher speed Wi-Fi connection for box. And nothing special.
Yeah, we'll see what questions pop up if you don't have. So, Matthew, if you can just go to the other side again.
Yeah.
So we have 2 M2 slots here, guys. So one is for SSD, which can be either NVMe or SATA 3. This will be an internal expansion, internal storage slot. This means when we place a, say, 1 terabyte SSD here on the Lite Plus, we still get our 3 expansion slots freely available on Lite Plus. So we have 1 terabyte internal storage, and then we have 3 expansion card slots free for adding more storage or more peripherals. So on the Lite, when you place your 1 terabyte in the bottom slot, you would get 2 more slots, right? But on Lite Plus, because 1 terabyte is now internal, you get all 3 slots free when you have your internal storage. The other M2 that you see at the top, that's for connecting the Wi-Fi modules. So on the normal Lite, the ones that are already shipped, that has a Wi-Fi module that is built into Raspberry Pi's Compute Module 4. Whereas in this new design, we have a slot for it, and we will be inserting a Wi-Fi 6 module by Ratsa. So Ratsa is another SBC maker, and we will insert a Wi-Fi 6 module there. And that has huge implications. If your home has Wi-Fi 6, you will get much more speed and can cater the network better with Wi-Fi 6. Another design advantage is if next year, I mean, say Wi-Fi 7 is something that's everywhere, then you can just replace your Wi-Fi module with the Wi-Fi 7s and continue using the same hardware. So the new design is more modular than our CM4 design in a sense. Any more things that you wanted to mention, Matty?
Nothing special.
Perfect. Give me a second to see if there are any questions on hardware here. That's not okay. Okay, these are not hardware. Yeah. Guys, if there are any hardware questions, please either start chatting or turning on your mic. If not, I will continue to your other questions. Because I want to let Matty go continue doing his hardware stuff.
Okay.
Kayvon, have you just addressed all the benefits that all this extra RAM and everything brings to us? So you mentioned ETH staking, really fast connectivity to the Wi-Fi 6 and what comes next. Any exciting things that this chip enables or that feature one you're talking about that we haven't mentioned yet before we lose Matty?
Sure. I mean, what Matty and I are working on is something called FxBlox platform. So this new design enables for all sorts of new applications with the same hardware. So each staker is one application, right? We are also thinking of like a TV box application. So the same hardware with a 16 gigabyte variation can, with say an Android TV instead of a Linux on it, can become something. If people have worked with things like Chromecast or Apple TV, there is also this other Android TV set-top boxes available. So one application, one completely non-crypto related application as a TV box with the FxBlox platform, because it's the same hardware, just customized for different use cases. And also with the SBC, we're thinking even different form factors. So we are, because the board that you see on the screen has a very small footprint, and not there is no other manufacturer that has reached the same compact board with USB connections on the scale that we have. So this might open up new applications altogether. Think like a handheld PC with the same board. So you have like a joystick which has the same board inside and can act as a thing, like if you've seen things like I don't know, Nintendo Switch. So FxBlox platform is a new thing also that we're thinking on for next year, and that's new use cases for the hardware. Okay, hardware question. Can we use all 3 slots for external hard disks? Yes. Q, yes. You can use all 3 slots for external hard disks. So on the Fulo network, we don't really have a need for using the one of the slots as the display, like connected to a monitor and use it as a display, because all our interactions with the Fulo network is through the app. We don't need to connect a monitor to interact with Fulo network. So we can use all 3 for storage. So either occupy all 3 with expansion cards, or connect USB-A and USB-C expansion cards and connect external hard disks. Correct. To your answer, as an answer to your question is yes, we can use all of them as external connect hard disks. Cheers. Any more hardware questions? Perfect. Matthew, thank you for your time. You can now go and hug Altium. Cheers. You can go bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, guys. We now continue to other questions. Do blocks need time to sync with the network? I just connected Fulo Tower today, but it says it's disconnected within the app, which is still connected to the network, since I can see that from my router system. Q, that's a bug that Ehsan and software team are working currently on. So when you do the the initial setup that it connects to your home Wi-Fi, right? There's a bug that when you close the app and connect back, it still cannot find the device that is already connected to Wi-Fi. So in the next update that they will add, they will push to Google Play next week, they will fix this bug. So no, there's no time needed to sync with the network. As soon as it connects, it will connect to the network within, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. So what you see that it says it's disconnected is a bug that will be fixed. Did that answer your question? Perfect. Is there any perks, benefits of joining other pools versus running your own? Well, I mean, on the protocol side, no. So you can think of a pool as a WhatsApp group, right? That you create, and then you can do anything with it. You can make it public so anyone can join a pool, or you can make it private so it's only invite only and you only have your friends join the pool. So what I mean is, like, from the concept of pool is just that you have a grouping of devices where you directly exchange backups on this pool. So I back up another person's data on this pool and the same, right? And you can put in a few checks and places. On the protocol side, the only one that's now implemented is the speed. So you can say, hey, I want everyone in this pool who joins to have the same speed as same speed of everyone else in this pool. So say if you create a pool in Netherlands and there are 10 other people in Netherlands who join that pool, right? Then comes and joins someone, a Kayvon from Canada, asks to join the pool, but the ping speed for Kayvon from Canada is lower than everyone, right? So on the protocol level, we can say, hey, Kayvon, for this pool, your internet speed is not like the rest of us, so you're not welcome in this pool because we want this pool to be local. We want maximum speed. But that's about it. So there's no benefits or like perks and pools. The best analogy is they are like WhatsApp group, but you can have checks and balances in there. As I said, with the ping speed is the one that's currently implemented. Are devices designed for not maintaining constant connection to the network? Are devices pinged, do you mean, for not maintaining?
Things like, you know, how you can be dropped down as a minor or something like that.
Sure. Sorry, yeah. So there is, on the protocol side, there is an, if you're offline for more than an hour, currently, there is just this check that says, okay, kick this person out of the pool because they've been offline. But currently, so generally slashing, right? Slashing like we have in Ethereum, that doesn't currently exist on the protocol level. So we will see. Our current thinking is that we need to give grace time. So, okay, you have 1 hour to reconnect back and sort out your connection. But the current thinking is create grace time, but we will figure it out together in the testnet if that 1 hour grace time is enough, or do we need another mechanism? Cheers, Q. Yes, the Google Photos is the origin story of Functionland. The two people who started Functionland, one of them was me, were very pissed off with Google Photos. So we stumbled upon a whole Web3 journey.
Can I speak to that for a second, Kayvon?
Sure.
So I just want to be sure, even for the recording, that people realize that the whole idea is to monetize open source software development. And so by building these bridges from JavaScript and React Native and allowing people to come and build these dApps, when your code is developed into a decentralized application, people will download your application and you will receive token and reward, right? And so this is really, really interesting and novel. And so when I talk to you guys about the ability to build indexing and search within FX Photos, I can go to that Celestica DB team and say, you know, if the either aspects of it are powered by your code and your lines of code or your whatever it is, by combining forces and then being downloaded together as FX Photos. So you talked about building on top of the Fula network, but I'm talking about approaching teams to build within FX Photos. And then in the future, as FX Photos is downloaded and updated, those teams are now considered downward dependencies of that code. So of that one Fula token, we have designated 40% of that token, correct me if I'm wrong, Irfan, but to going toward those downward dependencies. So all those people that have built code and worked hard, your code is going to be therefore encapsulated going forward and then rewarded out. So, you know, let's really think about who we build for and what we build. So as you're taking part in hackathons and as you're developing applications, I mean, a few of us went on to Near Protocols hackathon using FX Photos, and we're building ways to exchange photos in Near wallets, for instance, right? And then now if we can actually take that to a dApp that people use it doesn't live as a hackathon project on a decaying HTTP link somewhere, right? It's going to actually then become an application that we can potentially earn from, right? And so not only are we enabling Web3 mass adoption, you guys are as well, and you stand to benefit. I mean, obviously, going forward, as we become more of a decentralized autonomous organization, or as governance is more executed upon, bounties and things like that, or, you know, rewards for documentation or things like that we'd like to look at. And we also would want to recognize projects after the fact. So, you know, Protocol Labs just recognized a few of our projects at the IPFS Thing event in Belgium or in Brussels. And that's really rewarding, right? So to go back and instead of just giving out money and all of this to build who knows what, you know, being able to go back and say, wow, this team built something really impactful. It onboarded a whole bunch of people that were unbanked or deplatformed, or that weren't able to earn before, and now they're part of this ecosystem. So just sharing that as an idea, and hopefully we can get to that point as well, with rewarding projects that we love and working with partners. Okay, thanks.
Yes, Q. So as Kate mentioned, one of the pillars of Functionland from day one was rewarding open source developers and making it rewarding them on protocol level. So we also communicated that in the Telegram group with, I think, a question from CryptoFan like a week ago or something, that where are we at with the app developers being compensated. The question was pertaining to NFTs specifically when they come to play. And I answered that the plan for NFTs is rev share with Functionland's apps. So FX Photos and FX Files, these are the two flagship Functionland apps. And as a developer of one of the apps, when the protocol level integration is in place, each time that one of these apps are downloaded, Functionland will be compensated in Fula tokens each time that there is a download, or any independent developer who creates another app for the Fula ecosystem, right? So plan for NFTs is that we share that revenue with holders of the FEC NFT holders. But then there be like very creative ideas that other developers come up with on how to fund their project. There will be grants. So the Fula Governance Association, one of the partners that we had in our seed round was Dora Hacks. And we specifically onboarded them because Functionland was born in one of the Dora Hacks hackathons where we won the first place prize there. So we next year is all about developers. There will be grants, there will be hackathons, and then the very exciting thing is there's protocol level compensation for developers on Fula Network. Decentralization, here we come, yay. Jeez. I wanted to address one more question that was from the backlog. Minu just sent me talking about XL. Perry, sorry, I missed the answer to my question. Please, can you tell me again how many storage devices I can add to the Blox Lite Plus? Perry, in total, you can add 4, right, to Lite Plus. So you can add one internal SSD, which is either NVMe or SATA 3 SSD. Both are supported, but that's internal. Means you need to open it up with a screwdriver and then insert it, right? But then you still get your 3 expansion cards that are available from outside. And if you get all 3, so total 4, 1 internal, 3 external. Back to Minu's question from backlog, XL. So provide us an update with an update on XL. So XL, as you guys know, have been going through some rough, unexpected bureaucracy and need for certifications for AC, and that has imposed a redesign. We have Jonathan here on the call with us. He's like the grandfather of the whole XL effort. What happened to XL is it's currently the design that we have that is available on GitHub, and we welcome anyone who has hands-on with PCBs to go check it out, provide this pointer. It's just, we haven't been able to revisit it because when we were working on XL, we had these components there that were costing us a lot more than what we were wanting to. As you know, we have a sub $300 budget for XL, and that composes both hub tower and the base. So it wouldn't meet our current design. That's after the revisions from meeting the power certification requirements, doesn't meet that price target. And at the same time, we've been rug pulled by Raspberry Pi Foundation. So we had to go and design Light Plus. So that's where we refocus all our hardware efforts on the Fuller Tower. And we've essentially not done anything on the XL side for the past 2 months. So our new revised estimate is that XL will be ready by end of this year. But again, that's just an estimate. And as soon as we get new designs on it, and we actually work on it, like today in an AMA session, we will get Jonathan or Matty to share their screen, and we will show you where we are at the design. But currently, XL is not being worked on actively because we had to focus everything on Light Plus. And the new estimate is end of year as a possible delivery date for XL. As for how we address the issue of XLs not being delivered, we already have an airdrop for a delay further than end of Q2 for XL in place. We will also announce new ones as we don't meet new timelines. So after this $50, I think, airdrop for the delivery delay, then we will have another fund for end of Q3. Then we have another fund for end of Q4. So that's the current state of XL. But XL is very dear to our heart, and we will, as soon as we find some breathing space, get back to it. Because as you probably see in the group, in the community group, there are people who've ordered more than one tower. So there are people who've ordered 4 Fuller towers, right? And it just doesn't look good that you have 3 separate 4 towers with 4 chargers, right? That wasn't the original vision. The original vision is that you get an XL base with 8 towers on it, right? And that's coming to fruition with different use cases of it, right? So say if we get an ETH staker pipeline, or I don't know, we will also research other layer ones. So maybe there's an ADA staker node, Cardano staker. So you will have a same base, and you have up to 8 towers on the same base that are each one of them mining a different crypto and bringing like home nodes to these networks, because all those nodes are, even for Ethereum, are on AWS now. So we Functionlanders have something to contribute to Ethereum, like true decentralization. So it is very much an active goal. It's just been not received manpower in the past 2 months. But as soon as Light Plus is out, we will refocus our efforts on XL. And the current estimate is end of this year. And this has been revised, may be revised again. So that was the XL question. And I don't see anything else from the backlog. Any questions I missed here? I don't think so. One new message. Yes, please, Jonathan, chime in and talk about Hub if you want.
Yeah, I'll quickly talk about it now too.
Jonathan, by any chance, do you have Altium in this computer that you can show?
Yes,
the
yes,
one?
yes.
That's
I'll
perfect.
start it up. That it takes a while, so you can answer Perry's question. So we're starting up Altium. It always takes a while.
While that takes Perry, the internal storage for Light Plus is M2, so the connector is M2, and the M2 we've created a mechanism that accepts both NVMe M2 and SATA 3 M2. So there are two types. One is more high speed NVMe that needs a PCI Express bus, Gen 3, which the Rock chip has. CM4 didn't have it. So NVMe top of the line SSDs work with Light Plus. Also older SATA 3 SSDs, which are perfectly fine for Fula network, but are not good enough for, say, Ethereum. Those work with it as well. So there's an M2 slot and accepts any type of M2. It just has to be 2280, so the bigger ones. Sorry, Jonathan, I just had this question popping up.
Yeah, no problem. Altium is now almost started up. It's opening up the assembly.
Sure.
So I can show what we have so far of main hub, because main hub is built up out of 4 PCBs. And I'll quickly, while it's opening up and before I share my screen, we have the power supply. Wait, it's showing up so I can share. I can't share.
Oh,
my
I did
screen.
allow share screen. So Matthew was sharing earlier. Do you want me to untick it and take it again? What does it say when you click share screen?
Oh wait, no, it popped up suddenly. I don't know. I'm
Yes,
blind.
it's showing now. Perfect.
Yeah. So this is what we had last time I worked on this. So we have this PCB, which is the power, where you normally plug in your AC cable from the outlet and gets converted to 24 volts. And then it gets fed into the main part of the main hub, which consists of the Raspberry Pi Zero here on top, the whole power delivery, the 3 slots for your framework expansion cards. And we have then a 4th USB port that leads to the front where you have your on-off button and accessible USB-C. And the bottom part, which connects to the grid, which I'll open in the meantime and can open nicely in the back, where you plug in the main hub, and into the grid you can also plug in the Fula tower and any other USB-C device. And yeah, it's freezing up. I love Altium and opening stuff. Hey, so there we have the grid, and it plugs in this position, and then you have still 7 spots left. But what, yeah, as Keiva mentioned, there are a lot of issues when it comes to cost. This chip that we use 3 times, or I think, yeah, is for having all the USB-C lines of all the connectors and outgoing towers to be able to connect to each other and make them communicate with each other, which add a lot of cost. The power delivery itself is a huge issue. As you can see, this is the whole power delivery for everything, which when we were designing this, we figured out, oh yeah, this has to change. This all has to move to the top side, adding our extra issues with routing. And in general, like, we have a design that is, dare I say, like 90% okay, but that last 10% to make it fully functional and fit the mechanical case and make it and not run too hot and just operable is just a big challenge. Yeah, I don't know what to add at the moment because I've been out for a while. But yeah, there are, it is something in progress that could be finished in time. But as Keiva mentioned, like end of year sounds reasonable, as we would still need to finish the design, run prototyping, find out if we had any minor issues that sometimes pop up. Luckily, most of what is used here has always also been used in the Light Plus, and in the dev kit itself. So I don't foresee any major issues there. It's more making it sure it all runs as expected and doesn't run into issues when running, let's say 24/7. And
Perfect.
yes, it looks indeed promising, but yeah, like I mentioned, there are a lot of things that are still giving us headaches.
Yes. Another thing that we are still, the reason that we are giving it a pause also is, as you can see in the screen that Jonathan is sharing, our current design is a 2-slot design. So our current hub tower occupies 2 slots, right? And the reason for that is the current AC component, AC DC converter component. You see that huge brick in there. That's the previous generation of AC to DC converters. So there's a new kid in town called GAN devices, GAN. That's gallium nitride. And if you've heard of GAN chargers, there are things that are like in this package, a package this big, and that can provide 100 watts. And we need something like 80 watts. Am I right, Jonathan, for the whole XL base?
Yeah,
The current one is
something.
80, right?
This one was 80, and yeah, that's what we need. And especially if GAN, we could go expand to possibly 200 watts and be secure that if people have higher power towers that they design themselves or have commissioned, they don't have to upgrade the hub immediately. They can go on with it for a bit without the need to upgrade it.
Correct. So one of the exciting things that can come out by end of year is a partnership with one of the already established docking station makers. So if you've probably heard of brands like, I don't know, Anchor, Pluggable, Ugreen, right? Or the more premium ones. So these are people who already make docking stations, and we already have a design. We have, as I said, the problem that we have with it is scaling and pricing. So if a partner comes in and that can say, hey, here's a GAN component that's outside, you need to buy separately for $100, we can get it for you for $20. That then solves all our problems. So this is what we need to show is the market for XL towers out there that we will demonstrate by delivering the Indiegogo light portions of the order, and then say, hey, these are XL backers, some 500 of them that are waiting for this device. We're going to deliver to them anyway. But if you come in and cater together with us, this 500 people who have XL, then there's a market for when we open to the sales to people from, and not from Indiegogo, but the public, say there is a market for you as a partner. So that's all exciting and needs love in its time. So the effort on this will start by when we start shipping the Light Pluses. Then we will have breathing room to properly sit and say, now it's time for XL. Any questions? Unrelated to hardware, can we non-devs add value or contribute in any way to Functionland and the apps that are being released? That would be amazing, Q. Yes, there are many things. So as we said earlier, due to the market downturn, we had, so at the peak of it last year, there was a time that 70, 60 something people were simultaneously working on Functionland. These are the core team, the 3 contractors that were working on different aspects. So there was a time that there were 60 to 70 people working on Functionland, right? And that's why we are here. That's why we have everything, because when you think of it, we have a hardware case, we have PCBs, we have blockchain, we have protocol, we have mobile apps, we have protocol integration apps. The reason that these exist and you can work with is because there was this much manpower behind it at some point. But we were very fortunate that we didn't have any of the shenanigans of FTX. So FTX actually approached us for an investment, and one of the first things that they do when they invest in you is that they ask you to move all your previous investments to an FTX, so they can behind the scene, I don't know, buy mansions for Sam Bankman fraud. That was their line, right? So we were very fortunate that we didn't go and do that, because FTX was one of the active active investors that wanted to participate in Functionland. If we hadn't done our DD, so this was a red flag for us to move all your current assets to FTX. We said no. Had we been there, we would have been a dead project, like most of the other projects that had any ties with FTX. So fortunately, we didn't have that. Unfortunately, we didn't have a very we haven't been able to raise as we used to do in the bull market. So that slowed things a bit down. We had to downsize the team. We had to scale back a bit on spending. But we are on a good foundation, and the markets are hopefully starting to move. So the very fact that we're alive and kicking and moving, and we are this far along and this close to mainnet, gives us a lot of hope for what can happen very soon. A good community is all you need, so we're here to help. Yes. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Q, and that's exactly what we're counting on. So specifically, back to your questions, yes, please do get in touch with on the group and pick your favorites. So pick your, because there are any battle that you want, there is a battlefield for it in Functionland. If you want hardware, please join hardware. If you want to do community outreach, developer outreach, developer feedback, creating like groups. We used to do that. We did that for the design of FxBlox apps, for example. So we had members of the community leading the charge on the design of FxBlox. So yes, is Discord the right place to get in touch? It is. We have JJ there, but Telegram is a more vibrant place currently. So it's just something that's happened, Q. Discord, we now have JJ there who responds to questions, but still Telegram is the first class citizenship. And we are really sorry that that's the case, but really Telegram is the more active, has for any reason became the more active channel between all of them. So Telegram is number one, and then Discord. But if you want to do specific things, like you have like a Discord community in mind, that are already on Discord, and you're ready to take the charge of like directing and guiding the community, then it's all yours. You can choose your battlefield as Discord. Thank you. Anything else anyone wanted to talk about? If not, we're at the top of the hour and we can conclude. Perfect. Cheers, Q. Okay, I think that's it for everyone. It's been a great session. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you as always. And we will continue catching up on the Functionlanders community group on Telegram. Any questions, please send remaining questions, please send them there. And we have our great community managers who will answer your question or relay it to the team. One last minute question. Adding M2 gaming internal SSD 2 TB S90 NVMe PCI Express Gen 4x4.
Oh.
Would this work? Lots of love. Perry, yes, this will work. It will work up to Gen 3 4x4 speed though. So it's a bit of an overkill for Light Plus. So you can go with a Gen 3 4x4 M2. It won't be able to utilize its full speed. This is the top of line, the best thing out there. So it works, but it won't use all the Gen 4 speed. It will use up to Gen 3 speed. Hi G, yes. Hi PG, yes. We will post a recording of this on YouTube and then post it on Telegram for everyone to rewatch it. And hopefully we'll also get Minu to write a brief summary of it for everyone to read as well. Cheers. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the great questions. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Jonathan. Bye, guys.